Right, hello, hello. Just getting set up here. We are starting a fresh character in a fresh stash on Fate of the Vaal, softcore, and we're just gonna see how far we can get in 24 hours. So let's give it a crack. We'll get started. I probably won't be speed running the campaign, but we would try not to waste too much time. Set up our loot filter.
By the first ones, you're alive. I'm glad. Now I would appreciate it if you could.
I was tempted to go Amazon, but I've played a lot of Amazon recently.
Range clear, fell. Find.
I do like Pathfinder. It's got some really nice.
This is like no sickness I've ever seen. Let's track down this.
Quality of life notes. Speed unaffected by slows. Not getting hit while sprinting, and the node for using your evasion as elemental damage reduction is extremely slept on. It's so good. I was using it in SSF, and with about a 5k
another string to my bow,
energy shield, and a decent amount of evasion. I felt like I was virtually unkillable in the temple if I didn't do like a mistake.
Unnatural.
Sometimes happens.
Effective.
So I've just recently been playing hardcore SSF, which
Storming
I
arrow.
enjoyed a lot. I made a couple of attempts at getting to endgame with a poison Pathfinder. I think I lost 3 characters around like Act 3, Act 4 interlude. And I realized the problem with that was that I was following a build guide.
The journey is not kind.
You really couldn't pick up much defenses for energy shield on that side of the tree if you followed the main poison routes. So what I did was neglected some of the poison damage earlier in the run in favor of just going over to the monk side of the tree and taking some evasion energy shield nodes. And there's a big one on the monk side of the tree. I'll actually just show you it now. This one here, if you take this whole cluster by coming over into that side of the tree, and then you have like some energy shield, you have a 60% reduction on your energy shield recharge delay, and that's just such a lifesaver in hardcore. So you can take that along with a couple of other ones that are like close by, and by like Act 4, you're sitting at around like over 2k effective with your energy shield and life. It's really, really tanky. And if you have your second ascendancy, you can go like first point on Poison Pathfinder into the poison damage one, just to help with just to help make fights quicker in your.
They die the same.
Yeah, that's kind of terrible. We're gonna go this way.
Don't talk. Please come inside.
What was it saying? Yeah, so on the ascendancy thing, initially what I was doing is I was putting my first point into the node that gives
There's a beast up at
evasion applied to elemental damage, but I really didn't think that was
Tools
that
of the forge
useful.
tools of war. These are dangerous.
Welcome to the
The rest of the campaign felt like a bit sluggish and a bit slow.
A songbird makes for easy care.
Okay, I've got 3k gold, which
watch her
is...
back.
I think I was playing with a friend earlier in the league, which is... I guess that's convenient. I think we'll just level the early levels with lightning rod, and then once we get closer to where I want to go on the tree,
The past continues to influence the present.
These are just some another for my collection.
then I'll probably start looking at going into poison. Maybe we can buy a quiver that's already got some damage on it. I was kind of keen for the cold, but might as well go lightning.
Deal.
Let's find some movement speed boots. Yeah, so the build, I cannot multitask at all.
You'll survive well in that.
We do need a boots, but we haven't got any options for movement speed
That'll
boots, so
keep
we'll
you
just do that.
alive.
And some kind of chest piece would be nice. Armor evasion. Sounds alright.
If you find a find out there, do bring it back.
Yeah, so I think when I played Poison Pathfinder in hardcore, I had 3 attempts, 3 characters ripped, or maybe on the 3rd attempt I got it. I realized that
Fury!
I needed to spec into some damage, which I got from my Ascendancy node to apply. I think it's extra poisons and increased magnitude of poison as the small passive, which was really helpful. I did try the evasion applies to elemental resistance, but it wasn't that impactful. And the other one I tried was going into being able to start on a sorcerer's tree with extra passive points, and that was kind of nice, but it didn't really help out all that much. You would have to invest too heavily on that side of the tree to really take all the starting nodes to make it worthwhile. So that didn't work, and then when I played by taking the poison node ascendancy, the campaign was just a much smoother experience. I did neglect some of the passive tree damage nodes for poison in favor of getting some energy shield stuff. We don't even need to do the one burrow. We don't need. I know support gems are like kind of valuable, but. I wonder if we reset the area and get another one of those level 1 skill gems. I don't think we can do that. Yeah. Alright, we press on. Yeah, so when I took the Ascendancy node for damage, the plan was to actually drop it later on once I got my full Ascendancy and had a good 2 damage weapon in endgame, but I didn't make it that far. The character didn't die. I got a little bit bored of playing it in hardcore because I was just really lacking in clear. I could get a decent weapon,
Home of the
not
Grellwood Witch.
without too much difficulty, but I think I spent too much time playing in like lower waystones and just not leveling very fast. The only thing that was helping me level was Temple, and I just reached the point where I got bored of playing a character that I already taken Team 97 in SSF just a few days before that. I thought it would be fun to challenge myself and play something that was going to be difficult. I felt like it was a bit of like in SSF when I played the Pathfinder, I already had such a goated stash from my Amazon that I took to level 98. I had like weapons that I could use for multiple stages throughout early maps. I had pretty insane rings that I just wasn't using that were like perfect for that build. And I wasn't really looking for fizz damage, but I had a lot of rings with like T1 fizz and like chaos damage and just things that I wasn't interested in on my Amazon, but they ended up being really good for Poison Pathfinder. So I got to 97, I think in like maybe 2 or 3 days, and thought, let's do Poison Pathfinder and HCssf, see how far we can go.
Thunderous shot!
I got to level 82, and I started getting bored, and on a bit of a whim, I just re-rolled migrated my entire League progress over. I think I was up to like T9 maps on my quests in endgame, so I was at like, I think about 82, level 82, and I just decided how I want to start again, and I
The
re-rolled
roots have grown like a scab
to,
covering
what did I
your
play? I played Ice Shot on what ascendancy? Oh, I picked Huntress and went Ice Shot, and I went Ritualist to begin with the intention to switch over to Amazon. I guess once I'd farmed up a little bit or made some progress, and it was kind of nice. Like I was so impressed with how well Ritualist could handle like temple mapping, bossing. I was using sniper Ice Shot to like one-shot bosses. I had the blood boil going on, so like even in the temple, when things started getting pretty juicy, stuff was just dying. Like I was clearing things just by being next to them. They were taking a lot of damage, it was pretty nice considering that I didn't have a very good weapon. I think I was sort of struggling on damage, invested heavily on my passive tree into defense as well, so at one point the level in the temple was a lot higher than the level of the waystones that I was comfortably farming, and I just didn't want to miss out on getting the XP from the temple or like the loot or bases, and there were too many reasons to do the temple, even though it was a little bit more difficult than what I was comfortable running, but I managed to complete the temple, and yeah, the temple is actually so good just for SSF and even hardcore in general. Like as long as you do manage to recognize when things are like extremely dangerous and act accordingly. There were a few close calls, like I had a what's it called, a chain going with the Spy Masters and the garrison, and they upgraded to the Viper's Coils or something. One of those rooms, it was in the corner, so the storm entrance was facing the room that I was coming out of, and everything aggroed me and basically just body blocked me like as the door shut. And that was probably the closest that I'd come to dying on the run. Somehow I just blasted my way out of it, and I think it was a combination of
thunderous shot.
Blood Boil doing the bulk of the work with the Ice Shot, and some Herald of Ice proccing on just to clear out a few, just enough space for me to roll out of. And there were some pretty close encounters in one of the Spy Master rooms. I don't know how I feel about like monsters turning invisible permanently until you beat the room. I think it's a bit stupid. It's sort of gimmicky. Like sure, they should have like a cloak, but maybe if you get close to them or after a duration, that skill wears off. Like they even remain invisible after you kill the Spy Master, which I don't think should be a thing, but who knows? I don't know what the idea is there. Yeah, so had a lot of fun with that. Last night we did die. I was up extremely late. I had gotten to the point where I think I built my temple too juiced for my character's power level at the time. Although I was level 88, the temples were running at level... we haven't found the tree yet, which I think is probably... it should be over here. The temple was a little bit too difficult to what I was comfortable with, so I just decided to run maps a little bit more and see if I could get just anything that was slightly better of an upgrade. I had to push tier 13 area level so that I could get a Warmonger bow, and I managed to find something that was a slight upgrade. And just a couple extra levels on the passive tree I could invest into just pumping out a bit more DPS. Then we went into the temple. We had... oh, am I going at attack speed? I think we'll go attack speed.
I'll wait here. The old magics will protect...
Anyway, we were finishing our T15 Atlas, which we successfully did.
I know
and
this
at that
place.
point we had too many temple
The
charges
crimson remnants
and only
of
about
the
24 crystals, so
scattered here.
I decided to go in there. I also really wanted the loot too, because we didn't have any greater exalts for crafting. My chest piece was something I picked up when I hit early maps, and I didn't want to keep rolling with temples or continue to build it further with my current level of defenses. I wanted to upgrade, even upgrade my weapon and my chest piece or helmet as new bases were becoming available. The other thing was I was pushing T15. Oh, we do need a belt, but we also have these too. I might just do this. That'll have to do. Yeah,
Perhaps
we
this
didn't really
holds
get any
the answers.
upgrades. We had a couple of basic on like sleep jackets that looked really promising with like T1 increased on the prefix and like a T1, T2
Fury!
res, but after playing in Essence, I didn't want to just random
Return to the
a
earth.
Gambit Exalt Slam because it would roll something like lowest, like 19 life or something like that. But you could get lucky, you could roll decently. But I just wanted to wait for a greater Exalt and the Omen from Ritual, where it will count as 2 mods. And we weren't too interested in farming the Ritual because I think the comfortable way to do that would be dropping down into lower tier waystones to farm Rituals. And I just wasn't quite feeling powerful enough to be doing rituals, like format rituals at T15, even T13. I feel like that could just get extremely dicey at times. We weren't using anything for good recovery other than just having low energy recharge delay, and sometimes with power you can get swarmed and then with ground effects like poison exploding bodies. I just wasn't really feeling confident to do ritual until I could get a clear upgrade on that and had a little bit more ES to play with. Anyway, so we did die because we built our temple out and we wanted to do Adziri. Not as a plan, it just kind of happened that way that we, after beating the Architect, the Royal Access Chamber spawned one lane away from where our path actually was, and on our last temple we could actually just hook everything up and we beat Architect and Royal Access Chamber, went to go and fight Adziri, and this was probably at like 6 in the morning. I've been playing all night. It's taking me a little longer than I'd expected. I stayed up a little bit more than what I was probably planning to run these temples because we had a few charges backed up. And I was very hesitant to be running the Spy Master side of the temple. I had a bit of a commander chain on the other side, and a lot of like regular rooms going up the middle that were kind of just like burn as a bait for the destruction that happens when you close it. And I could have gotten like some decent juice just by playing it safe and not doing the Spy Master side, but I'd been handling the rough situations pretty well, and thought if I lock in and pay attention and just pay attention to when the poison arrows come down or dodge those attacks, then I should be fine. And I managed to handle the Spy Master routes pretty well. That's not a problem. Anyway, we got massive levels out of it. I think we went from 88 to 89 to 91 in just a matter of... Hang on, did we pick up... Oh yeah, we did pick it up. Yeah. And then we just fought Adziri. I wasn't really being too careful about it. I think normally if I was more alert and hadn't been up all night, if it wasn't so late, I probably would have really considered whether we wanted to take on that risk. I remember playing Adziri on SSF and very kind of pinnacle Uber, I don't know what to call it. It was relatively easy, and I think that's because I had probably held off on doing that for a little bit longer. I had some insane jewels from doing Sekimas over and over again, so
Prepare yourself.
Biggest thing though is that I had exposure and res penetration on my tree, so the damage I was doing with my Amazon was actually just a lot more effective than the damage I was doing with my Ritualists. I didn't have any resistance penetration, but it was just good enough for me to be able to clear maps in the temple. I think that was because of the combination of the Blood Boil, and the Blood Boil doesn't work on unique enemies, so we were relying on just doing very, very little amount of
Barely
damage.
broke a sweat.
I nearly ran out of mana flasks, and she wasn't even on half HP through her second phase, so that made me realize
Storming
it
arrow.
was getting quite serious. And the amount of AoEs that were happening at that point really started to ramp up.
That should hold the last.
And eventually she did that thing where she filled up the whole room with this red expanding ring, and I have heard that you can stand in the corner of the room and it's safe, but that was not the case. Just watched my character, I don't know, just get trapped into impending doom. And surprisingly, I wasn't even the slightest bit mad. Like, I accepted what happened, and, you know, it's it's kind of my fault. Like, I went into the fight unprepared. I think probably on a better day, like, if I hadn't been out late, I might have considered whether it would be worth doing or not. And it's certainly worth doing, but I definitely could have been better prepared. Like, maybe even just changing support damage would have been good enough to actually avoid ripping there. Like, I think if I...
Rust away into nothing. Your war is long over.
I think our gear is good enough. Yeah, I think if I even just changed the support gem to have some resistance penetration, I think that fight would have gone very differently. When I realized how little damage I was doing, I think I started choking a little bit. I'm pretty sure I messed up some of my combos, and the snipe has a 10-second cooldown, or at least the way I was playing it, which was very not good when it didn't hit. What is going on here? We've got so many gems. Okay. Oh, I think I just wasted that. I could have actually just leveled it to level 3 straight up. But I'm planning on selling some of these on the currency exchange when we unlock it, so I sort of wasted that.
I like to hold on to bits and pieces. Any that catch your eye?
Honestly, I think our gear is good enough. I'm just going to disenchant everything. Sell everything else. Except for maybe the amulet. That's something that we'll probably use.
I've collected... Oh, I like this one.
So these are quality.
Stay safe, if you can.
+1 to level of all melee skills. I mean, everything else about it is actually very useful for where we're at. We don't even have a salvage, man, which is crazy. Oh my god, what is this absolute clusterfuck? How do I delete folder? Oh, this is awful. This is so awful. I'm so sorry everyone, but I cannot play with my stash looking like this. I'm going to just spend the next 5 or so minutes just making this look a little bit more pleasant. Anyway, we had a good time, and I might come back to it. I'd already started I re-rolled legit the not long after. Actually, I might put my quads lower It's alright. Yeah, I went Amazon, and I think I was tilted. I was a little bit tilted. I was kind of like rushing and nearly died in Clearfell, and I just realized, like, yeah, I think we just need to take a little breather instead of immediately re-rolling. I think some people have the persistence to keep going, but I kind of... Wait, we got stuff in here? I mean, fair enough. Is this salvage? Alright, this is gonna be salvage. Alright, I guess we'll name this. This will probably change, we'll change the order of these later, but yeah, we'll check out ritual. I may as well do, oh yeah, essences is probably a good one. So I wonder what I would need to do to make it so that my stash tabs look like this when I league start, because this is like the worst thing about league start is I open my stash and it just looks like this clusterfuck, like a fucking pinata just exploded on my screen. I think I need to go into standard. I'm not sure, I haven't done this, but I think what I need to do is go into delirium? Is that how you spell it? It says it right here, delirium. I think I need to go into standard and actually organize my stash tabs like this, like in the correct order with the right colors. Just like get rid of all of this shit. And then when a new league comes out, I think it would just copy my standard stash tab sort of setup, and that'll be what it's like in the new league, hopefully. So let's keep going. We're halfway there. This is just one of those things that has to be done, because I cannot play with especially on a new character, I just cannot play with a look at this raggedy. Uniques. You know what? Uniques can go right at the bottom. Doesn't need to be capitals, I know what that tab is. Sea trials. I might start using letters at this point. We gotta speed up this process. I gotta say, when I was organizing these stash tabs the first time, I was a lot less experienced. I definitely organize my stash tabs differently these days. And that's just based on having about 3,000 hours in this game, learning that some of the ways that I organized my stashes previously were inefficient and inconvenient. I've only recently started using the black for the background. I think it looks really clean. I used to use this color, which is okay. You can use whatever you want. I think I'm gonna run out of alphabet, so we might have. I wouldn't be surprised if I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Yeah, okay, at least I can still remember the alphabet. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if I missed a letter or got the order wrong. Ooh. P. A, no. M, N, O, P, Q, I really don't like the look of the letters. I think I should have just carried on with the numbers here. But anyway, let's put a skill gem on this. I think we'll just go with. Actually, we're gonna be short on skill gems because we are. I think we just save the supports, honestly.
Area spot. I would have.
Wait, is that it? No, I don't think we do that. I think if, because I think what I want to play is I want to play Ice Shot. But we'll get more skill. We'll get more support gems like later. We can definitely just cut rapid attacks. That we can use, but by that point we might have rapid attacks too. So we'll take that. Oh, we should have put multi-shot in Lightning Rod. I think that would have probably been better. Alright, did we get the waypoint clear from?
Good. Now the others.
Let's hope nature
Anyway.
is listening.
That was quite the ramble. I know that I'm terribly incohesive when it comes to recalling events or telling stories while I'm playing a game.
He's unconscious.
When I used to live with friends, it was just a problem that I had. That if I was on my PC and there was anything happening in the room around me, I could not
The wound,
socialize.
only
I could
by
not have a
print.
conversation. I couldn't follow what was
makes
going
fun of
on.
my
I couldn't even talk when I was playing, and there was stuff happening around me. So yeah. But on that note, I'm gonna grab another coffee and just go to the toilet real quick. So I'll be back in a minute. I'll mute my microphone while I'm doing. Alright, we are back. Okay, let's get back to speed running. We need to go... Did we talk to Una? We did. We did the rune spikes. Grim Tangle it is. So apparently we can talk to her. We can respawn a checkpoint and don't have to wait for the
Fury!
Alright, this is good damage.
You reek of decay.
So I was so busy trying to recount what had happened in
There's the
my
next one.
hardcore playthrough. I completely forgot to upgrade my skill gems until we finished the red veil. I didn't even notice that our damage was lacking. I can't even remember doing the red veil, so... Yeah, I guess that'll do for now. I kind of want to check it anyway. I hate these guys. Stupid manageable. Scoot back this way. Probably get around a bit.
Barely broke a sweat.
Yeah, so part of the reason why I wanted to play trade was I just missed that part of the game where you can just buy items and start zooming. I feel like I progressed pretty quickly in SSF from, or even in HCssf from the restart, but there is that element of like, if you're not feeling strong, you probably should like slow down or level up a couple of times and there's good things about it. But when you get to a certain point, it sort of becomes a lot. The progress slows down a lot. Like when you already have a good weapon and you don't have like tons and tons of crafting materials, there's a lot of work required to acquire the things you need.
Fury!
To actually make further progress. And there's a lot of luck that comes down to it too, like you can do multiple runs or even go days without getting upgrades or getting things you need for an upgrade. So it depends whether you have the patience. And I think at a certain point you don't need the best gear to be able to do all content as well. Sort of, I guess temple is the exception to that. Like if you have an extremely juiced temple, which I have. Which way are we going? I think we go this way to begin with, yeah. Yeah, if you have a super juiced temple, pushing the build past like having your like endgame bow, like if you get, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but if you pick up a good obliterator bow that has like a T2 or even T3 increased his roll, you can just slap on an essence of his essence to it and it's going to be pretty much good enough to do all content. As long as you have like some half decent jewels along with that and a decent quiver, that'll probably be good enough to do all content, like all the pinnacles and armor and stuff like that. You'll be spraying T15 reasonably well. And I feel like that's probably... I feel like the end game shouldn't revolve around just building something that you can get like the first time you get the maps, T15 maps. You know, I feel like you shouldn't have that level of power in T15 maps for something that you can make with
You're
this.
better off this way.
Like, I feel like to be able to clear that content, well, I don't know, maybe it's like a stepping stone to temple, right? So like, you get your endgame bow, and then that allows you to farm ritual so that you can get omens, and allows you to farm abyss so that you can get echoes and omens of light and all of these things to help you craft.
Quickly! My family is that bastard! I said
temple content much
That
easier,
man's
because that's where you
mind
get the good
seems as
bases
dead
for,
as this cemetery.
it would be better. Okay, I'm just not gonna identify stuff like that. Yeah, so anyway, think I just want to play
Nowhere
trade
to run.
because I haven't got a headhunter this league. I've chanced hundreds of heavy belts, more than 200, and I think I'm not sure what the chances are, but I feel like you should get one every 200 to 400 heavy belts that you chance. So maybe we're due for one. I chanced one in 0. I would say 0.2. I was playing SSF that league, and I wasn't that far into it. I think I was 97 on an Amazon, and that was insane. Having a headhunter in SSF, that was cool. We had headhunter last league. I played trade.
Storming arrow.
Actually, I started like a month late into the league. So I played. What was I doing? At the beginning of last league, I was playing Counter-Strike again because I was so hyped for league launch. But that week before league launch, I didn't want to be playing like hardcore or SSF or anything because I felt like burnout was creeping up. Short bow, actually, yeah, might be good. And I started playing Counter-Strike, maybe I was playing a bit of Rust as well. And in that week of not playing PoE, I just kind of like got really hooked on Counter-Strike. And I started playing, I hit up some of the boys I used to play Counter-Strike with overseas and wanted to play with them. And they're like, no way, you're back on Counter-Strike. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a crack. The game's a bit different. It's not like the Counter-Strike that I played. There was a bit of getting used to it, but I think after like a month of grinding it, I got relatively okay, I guess. The biggest problem was the whole. I'll find the other one just so we don't have to do it later. And there's also a ring that you can get here at the cemetery if you didn't know that. It's a guaranteed iron ring or lazuli ring. I'm really hoping for an iron ring. I don't care about the lazuli ring. But yeah, in Counter-Strike now, you have there's matchmaking rank. So you queue up for a match and it will, we got the lazuli. You queue up for a match and it puts you in lobbies
Thunderous
with
shot.
people of like similar ELO to you. And having played in a professional team in Counter-Strike Source, I'd say that I'm up there with some of the most. Wouldn't say my skill level was anywhere near the best players in Counter-Strike 2 because the skill level has elevated massively, and with the access to like training programs and the amount of information that there is on YouTube about how to practice for these things. There's like aim trainer software and all of that. Even people that are like not very good at the game, they're not playing professionally, they just had better aim than me, so
The
I wasn't
praetor's
really
wife
able
must
to
be in
beat
here
up having
somewhere.
like 10 or 15 years of
Prepare
not
yourself.
playing. But I didn't really enjoy playing with, in these like, basically these average ranked lobbies. There was, it just wasn't enjoyable. The whole reason for me to be playing with solo queue, I was doing it for like a month just to try and solo my way up to the same level as the other guys, and they were like 30k elo in CS2, so that's where I was trying to get to, and it was a lot harder to get there than what I thought it would be. I for one wasn't as good as the game. Two, the mechanics of the game was slightly different to Counter-Strike Source. And the biggest problem was that in Counter-Strike Source and Counter-Strike 1.6, if you were holding a position, you weren't at too much of a disadvantage to be just like kind of sitting on a corner and just waiting for someone to, pop up on your screen and you just kind of mow them down if you had good aim. The problem in CS2 is that the size of somebody's hitbox in relation to like how many pixels they take up on your screen is so small compared to what it was in Source. So I'll just say CS Source because that's the one I played professionally. And not only that, the speed at which you could accelerate left and right in Counter-Strike 2 was so much higher. So if somebody just came wildly swinging around the corner, it was just a whole different muscle memory to be able to like
Fury!
get those frags. And I didn't really like that gameplay. You had to play like a very peak orientated gameplay where you're sort of like jiggle peeking constantly, and you know, the person who peeks correctly has the advantage. This is something I wasn't used to, and I kind of got not bored of it. I just realized that the game is not the same. The game is not the same anymore. I didn't want to continue putting more hours into it, so I came back to PoE. I started the league late and decided to play SSF. And yeah, I found a headhunter, and I got pretty rich in SSF and decided, hey, I'm going to migrate over to Trade League and see how much I can sell all my gear for. As you know, all the gear that I had, I probably sold for a couple hundred divines, and back then
Another beacon. Almost
that was
done.
pretty
In my
pretty good
sights.
amount for somebody that's never really had more than like 50, 60 divines in their stash.
By my count,
Like I'm someone
there's one
that's
more.
I only got into PoE2. I got into one on release. A friend recommended it to me. But before that, I never really played ARPGs. I didn't play Diablo 2. I have played The Sims just to see what it was about. But I've always been an FPS player. And for the last, geez, it's probably been about 10 years. On and off, I've been playing Rocket League a lot and climbed pretty high in that game. So I managed to get GC2, which is, I guess, like 2 ranks away from SSL. And then if we want to get more technical about it, if SSL is the highest rank, it's not, it doesn't mean that you're like one of the best players. You are, but maybe even less than that. But the difference between SSLs and pros is just, it's so big of a gap, and I can totally relate to it. It's the same as Counter-Strike. Like, I played CS:GO after I retired from professional play. I would play for fun. I got to the highest rank in that game by solo queuing, and the difference between
Fury!
players at that level and pro players, I played, was huge. Just situational understanding wasn't there. People would be doing dumb shit, all sorts of situations, and they're at the highest rank in the game. I imagine it's probably the
May
same
your name be
in Rocket League.
forgotten by the clans, once and for all.
That's probably why Zen has a hard time solo queuing. He's such a clued player, as well as being one of the best players. He's also extremely clever with his game sense and awareness and decision making. I'm just gonna get rid of my inventory before we come back here. Oh, these spells are great. Oh, we can't identify stuff yet, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. We'll
Stay safe
identify.
if you can.
Okay, we'll just get rid of everything. You get these rope cuffs as well. I'm not too interested in them. We got this ring we didn't even pick up. Why is there an affinity on this? I forgot to change it.
Goodbye.
Alright, that looks more manageable. Yeah, so I think this league, is the only league where I started with a plan. I made the decision to start in SSF. I was kind of hyped for starting trade and actually playing from the beginning. I think even in Dawn of the Hunt and
Time to
in
seek out this
Rise of the Abyss, I
dragon.
was sort of late to trade lead because I started SSF and then migrated over once I'd made a bit of progress.
Fury!
And one thing that happened to me is when I migrated over for the, like, thinking that it might, you know, spice up the experience, or maybe I'll enjoy it more if I can do the crafting. That's probably, I think that's what made me migrate over, is just the scarcity of like omens of whittling and stuff like that. I wanted to do crafting and make really good gear. Once I migrated over though, it sort of, I lost a bit of motivation for it. Like, it just seemed like everything was easily accessible, and I felt like things didn't really have the same value. So this time I didn't migrate, I just left my stuff on SSF and made a couple of characters. But instead of migrating over when I got bored, I decided to venture into HCssf to see how far I can get. And what I did for the first 4 characters was kind of weird. I don't think most people play that way, but I've seen one guy called Beta Test Coin. He's a YouTuber and he tries out wacky builds on HCssf. When he makes a new character, he just deletes the build character and then migrate all HCssf. So that way, every time you start a character, you start ordering which I think is, in a way, it's kind of like a purist way of playing HCssf. Honestly, it gives you a really good idea of what makes it does. It also, I think it gives you a better impression of balance, and it gives you a better impression of what the RNG is like.
I will end your meaningless
You'll have power areas in here, and you'll have areas where you struggle, and it might not be because of characters that a little bit. Like certain characters need to do carving in the tree at certain level ranges. They're not getting any
Arrogance.
increase in
Humbled by my hand.
character power while they're doing that so much. But a lot of the time it can come down to the RNG. Like on one of my Pathfinders, for example, I was playing Fresh Start, so all of my blue currency was pretty sparse and valuable. Oh, surely that's better. Yeah, it's just a straight up upgrade. Not the ideal base. I think the short bow is probably the best base that we could have at this stage of the game, but we are not having any difficulty clearing the content, so we're gonna just press on with this. I think by the time I get to Geonor, I want to have a Warden bow or a short bow for that, but if this is the best that we have, I'm sure we'll be able to beat Geonor with the crappy weapon.
Graves, are you numbing their
Even if
head?
it was hardcore, I wouldn't be too worried. We'd
Corco, Callum,
probably just need to be a
family
little
of
bit
Count
more
Lachlan of
conservative with our mana
my
flask usage.
family.
And
This
just
doesn't
try
make
not to
any
take damage.
sense. They're dead. Those
So I've got a bit of a
bastard
strategy
Eternals.
with this guy. I'm sure
I
everybody's
must
had
make
rips.
them pay. I must make them
Obviously we let him start his thing, get him shot, try and do as much damage as we can around here. And we're gonna bait this cloud of bullshit over to the side of the... About to go up. We wanna have a region that's not covered in that cold damaging ground. And then we just wanna bait him. When he does that attack, that's pretty safe because we can just kind of lean back. But yeah, that's a pretty safe attack, and we should be dead. If he chose to do the other attack where he slams the ground and then slams behind him, that's a little bit more
mercy.
Oh, nice. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's amazing. We should get about a 20% DPS increase. 95? 89. That could actually be 25%.
You have the look of a hunter.
It seems something has tainted the bounty.
Typically I go back to town.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Straight to it then. The hunt begins.
We go back to town. I like to be able to identify items now in town.
You
And
found
we also
the
can
ring.
just discard some of these things.
I don't know how it's in mine. These are just some odds and ends of mine.
I haven't fully cemented
Stay safe.
in my head what build I want to play. I think
This sea.
Yes.
So
I'm going to try Ice Shot on Pathfinder because I was playing it on Ritualist and it was really strong, and I think it can be extremely strong on Pathfinder as well. Even Amazon would be pretty cool. Like, imagine having crit on your
This
snipe.
I heard you
critting
had
like over
anything
50%
take your
of the
fancy?
time. That would just be huge damage. Let's see if we can get some cold resistance, because we might not be upgrading out here. 7 cold resistance, 8 cold resistance. Honestly, we could probably just
That's a good one.
use this helmet for the Geonor fight, and I think, I mean, yep, that's pretty good. Does he have
Anything
different bows?
take your
No, no,
fancy?
no. Always go
That'll
follow
do
him.
so till next time.
Where was I? Yeah, we'll just sell.
These are just some odds and
sell
ends
that.
of mine.
Just want to see we got the affinities done properly. Oh, alright, I have no idea what I was talking about before. I was on some tangent.
Storming arrow!
That's what happens when you get distracted by tasks.
Don't let spirit guide us.
Are you coming, Spirit, or what are you doing? What is it doing?
Stay
I've
on
never
it.
seen this. I'm fucking on it, mate. It's being retarded. I think it's actually stuck in the tree.
Spirit guide us.
Typically, I would have already walked away by now, but I was just curious to see if it was glitching out. And I didn't know wisps could get stuck in the tree.
Wind at my back and prey in my sights.
Yeah, we've got to level up. Okay, we're doing big damage now. That's good. Yeah, this area is a bit rippy. Not really, actually. Like, you could probably just run through the middle and aggro everything, but as long as you keep moving around, it's sort of like circular. Yeah, just keep moving around. You don't actually get hit by anything. You might get clipped once, like that, but we haven't been hit yet. Move. And lightning arrow is your best friend in spaces like this. Poison would be pretty good if you were doing that. I feel like early game lightning arrow is too good not to use. As for endgame, I haven't played a lightning arrow character this league. I did play lightning arrow Day last league. It was extremely busted and a lot of fun. I think if I was going to do a lightning arrow character, maybe I would do it on Amazon and I would get something like a Kadiro's. Or actually, I think Kadiro's works
What's
better
this
with Ice
feeling?
Shot. I might try and get a
It's as though
Kadiro's on
the
this
trees
character. That would be cool.
themselves are watching. Last one's inside.
Yeah, I want to get a temple build. I haven't fully explored a fully juiced temple.
That's safe. Job done.
You know, in SSF and in hardcore SSF, the extent of the temple that I've built has just been doing a chain up to about the second corner, and it's either been destroyed because I've not gotten a lock in that run, or I've just decided to play another character.
Prepare yourself.
And with a new character, a new temple. So if you ever brick your temple, there are ways to fix it, but sometimes you want to play a different build, play a different character. Maybe you don't want to like change your ascendancy in case you feel like progressing on that character later. You just want to re-roll. It also gives you the opportunity to build a new temple as well.
That is unlike any bird
If
I've
you don't
seen.
want to like mess up your
Storm
progress.
point!
You can always just play another character. If you know what you're doing, the campaign is not that much of a grind.
You won't escape.
With a bit of practice, you can always improve your time.
Scream all you like. It won't help you.
I'm not one that typically rushes through campaign. I like to do progression, and I like the fact that at there's certain breakpoints for like area levels where new mods become available. And one, for example, is at level 16, which is the beginning of Act 2, the end of Act 1. Bows can now roll with, I think, up to 80-something% increased physical damage. And that would be, I don't know what tier that is exactly, but I know the level breakdown. And then the next available is level 33, which is the beginning of that.
Not screaming anymore, are you?
That being said, another thing to note is that at certain levels in between that, different bases become available. So you'll be getting a lot of recurve bows as your best base in Act 2, but you'll also be getting composite bows, which will be like have slightly higher base damage than a recurve bow, but they'll have access to the same mods. They'll have access to the same mod pool, although if you have two identical mods on a weapon, like increased fizz and then exactly the same percentage, I mean it's so obvious, but if they're exactly the same percentage, but one has higher base damage, it's just going to result in more damage. So if you have like a good enough bow from Act 1, like let's say you get something like this and it's good enough to carry you through Act 1 and you're still able to clear contact in the beginning of Act 2, then it's fine to just delay that upgrade until later in Act 2, and then you can get a better chance of having a weapon that's going to take you through till maybe further into Act 3. Because sometimes it is difficult getting a good upgrade in Act 3. That was what I was talking about before, the RNG side of things. So, yeah, when you play like a league start and you have nothing, you're like heavily dependent on what upgrades you find along the way. I had a run, I did end up dying on this run, but I made it to Act 4. And I was kind of struggling, like I had a shitty weapon in Act 4. But the reason for that is that every single time I picked up a bow, and I used like either a transmute and it rolled like one okay mod, like it had potential, and then I'd use an augment, it would roll reduced attribute requirements, and that run was cursed. Like I picked up reduced attribute requirements like okay, so we're going ice shot, which means I need to have a think about my passive tree, and I know this can get like really boring for people watching, but I don't want to start just putting points into like wherever, and then realize like, oh, I should have gone this way, it would have been more efficient, or something like that. Like sure, I can always just respec, it's easy enough to get gold, but we may have already goofed here by just taking this point, because there is a world where I would prefer to go this way, although I'm sure we can make it work if we just head up here. I mean, that's a good damage node. That's a good damage node. That's a good damage. If we just take all the damage in the beginning area, we should be okay. I feel like we can skip the quiver bonus early on. All right, we'll keep it standard. Get some attributes
Meet your end.
so we can level up our skill gems. We'll most likely be coming down to that dual socket anyway at the very end.
Fury.
And I think there's not much of a difference between going like left or straight in the beginning. I feel like it doesn't matter as much in softcore as it does in hardcore. Like in
A waste of wood, if you ask me. Songbird seems attached to it.
hardcore, you want to have at least some defensive nodes on your tree, and in this side of the tree, it's really hard to get an adequate amount of them. I find probably one of the best sources of defensive nodes for Amazon and
Quick and lethal.
Ranger builds is to veer over to the monk's starting area and pick up a couple of the points related to. Can we go through here? No. Pick up a couple of the hybrid points, giving you increased energy shield and increased evasion. There's also a couple of nice notables as well that give you good increases. I'll show you which ones. Originally I used to like this one, but that's not actually that good early game. You get a lot more out of it if you just go this way. You get 4 of these small passives that give you, that's 48 increased evasion, 48 increased maximum energy shield just by taking them, and then you get this. So you're getting massive evasion if you're regenerating energy shield, which might actually save you from getting hit and having to wait the delay again, and then just 30% increased evasion while you have energy shield. I think, yeah, in hardcore, this is even just in general, this is probably a lot better than having that. You could get both if you want. There's this node here, which is pretty good. Stun threshold and increased evasion. So while you're pathing over here to grab this stuff, and also you can get step like mist and flow like water by coming down here somewhere and going around. You get these as well, which is also another 48 increased with the total. Grab that. You get a lot of defense over here, especially if you grab something like this on this side. That's 50% increased evasion if you've hit an enemy recently, along with this. Being on full life, 50, 100, plus 48, plus 48, you're getting so much more evasion. But the other thing is, the evasion is not that helpful early game, because it's kind of hard to get your evasion rating up to, 60, 70% that early, which is not necessary for sure. But it's mainly actually just the increases in energy shield. You'll have a pretty bad time, I think, if you take all of these defensive nodes before getting anything to do with damage. I suppose you could justify it by starting on this side of the tree and getting a reasonable weapon. Have we got the loot? I'm still looking for it. I completely forgot that we got it already. Alright, we'll just checkpoint the next area. If we pass the cornfield, drop circle, which was not made by the developers, it was made by the developers. We'll get the level 4 skill gem. It doesn't appear to be this way, so I'm going to skip it. We'll probably get a level 4 skill gem somewhere.
So,
let's go turn in the loot.
Mad Wolf's justice now raises Ogden.
village. You must.
Yes, the village has been destroyed. I know, I've heard
found,
it
I
100
think-
times.
I'll pass on the song.
I've seen shadows
Alright,
haunt
so-
us both.
Where do I actually want to go? Because I'm thinking that this is a... Oh, I know. Yeah, we don't have a Juliet, but... I wonder if I can buy one. For like... No, it doesn't matter. It's just silly. Okay, salvage. This one's actually not bad. I think we'll keep it on that we have.
I've collected. Oh, be careful.
So we've got to get Renly's tools, and we need to get
Down, beast.
less moving shit actually from this area. I'm just gonna have a guess and sort of beeline it straight to where I think Renly's gonna be. And if I don't know, I feel like this is a different layout. Oh no, it's here. Yep. All right. Right here.
Thunderous shot. Quick and lethal.
Anything. I'll take that. So if he's here, then the boss will be. That's right. I think it has been there like on other occasions. Actually, might grab that. We'll throw a transmute augment on it and see what we can roll on it. On hardcore, I was finding that the temple was really good at gearing up. Like you can use the pristine exalted workbenches to just add mods to your video for free. You can't take the exalts with you, so it's not like you can use it later. And it was really handy. If you felt like kind of weaky for a boss, you can rerun areas and do the temple activation again. Like respawn a checkpoint will give you another temple charge. Yeah, top right. So as long as you weren't too high level, that would work.
Don't do this. Stop. Just wait. Surely we can.
Yeah, there seems to be a pretty common layout for this
You have been
area.
sentenced
Nice.
to death.
Great will take you fast.
What I used to do is just like run around the edge of the map, and I feel like that's definitely not the most efficient way of getting to where you need to go.
Prepare yourself.
Campaign, but without that knowledge and having been through the campaign if you have no idea where you need to go, or let's say you're completely new and you don't know the way things might be in certain areas, because if you've noticed already, I've got like many permanent buffs from stuff. It isn't a bad idea just to go around the edge, and
Thunderous shot.
that way at least you're not missing any secret areas, optional areas like Breakthorn, for example. I imagine a lot of people missed that the first time they played the campaign.
The axe edge is dulled. Count Geonor's mongrel is no longer.
But yeah, it takes longer, but it's more thorough, and I think it's probably the most efficient way of completely exploring an area, because if you go around the edges, the circle of uncovered area, the remaining uncovered area is always going to be a shorter distance from everything else if you're going around in a circle to close it off. And once you get a little bit more knowledgeable with the checklist of things you need to do in each area, then you can sort of optimize it a little bit by skipping the things you don't need to do, or just pathing to where you need to go. more effectively. So we'll go back. We missed the level 4 skill gem in Phrathon, and what I will do is talk to this latest lady, who's
For what
actually
it
recently
isn't
single, by the way. It'll hand in our tools. Grab
You
that.
found my tool.
Some
Here's
people
what
would
I've got.
recommend. Some people would recommend taking the cold rune and socketing it into their gear, but we have, like, I think enough cold resistance. We could have a little bit more, but we'll get a we'll get a sapphire charm from completing Phrathon, which I will do either now. Yeah, I think I'll do that now actually. No, that's not good. Well, that's actually, yeah, fuck it. We'll run that.
Anything take your fancy? Go well.
We'll find our cold resistance somewhere else. So we got the Murder Ramparts. Phrathon up. Get our Spirit Gem. I'd probably go Wind Dancer. I think I'll grab Herald of Ice. Act 3 and we'll get Ice Shot. Wind Dancer's just going to be good for
Fury!
Wind Dancer's just good, right?
An easy trophy.
Some people skip Phrathon in hardcore.
Traveler.
I certainly get behind the idea of skipping it when you
voice.
immediately get to
Why do I feel
the
like I've
hunting
heard-
grounds.
God, please.
At least he's
I'm
honest about being a
typically,
liar.
So we found the last one. I typically am more in favor of getting the all the things you need to do in hunting grounds, and then at least going into Ogden Village and getting the loot, so you get 2 passive points there, and killing Executioner. I think that's a good point to come back and do Phrathon, which is exactly what we've done in this run. There's been times where I've forgotten to go back and I've been in Act 2 wondering what the spirit is, and so I've done it after Mortal Quarry, which is reasonable. It does make it pretty easy. I can sort of understand why people would skip this in hardcore, but I'm not the biggest fan of skipping content. Like, I've died to Monkey a couple of times. I've also done Monkey just because it's there. Sometimes I fought Monkey, even when I was like wanting to skip it, I just got a little bit too close and he aggroed me, and at that point you have to fight him. But for the most part, Monkey's pretty manageable if you are completely focused on what he is and actually responding to his animations correctly. If you're like in a state of panic or oh shit, then there's a really good chance you'll die or get hit by one of his attacks that's kind of serious. If built correctly, you can actually survive the slam, which I managed to do on my last Poison Pathfinder. I had a ton of energy shield.
Stupid cultists. This ritual is an
Kind of
affront to
surprised.
me.
Maybe it put me on the edge. Maybe after they've reduced his damage, it's not a guaranteed one-shot for everyone anymore. I felt a little bit shitty about it. Like, it felt like I should have died and I didn't deserve to progress in that run. But I guess I put it down to, well, I built my character properly this time. You know, I got good enough gear to tank the hit, so I guess it's an extra reliance.
Fury!
What is this, like, what am I being caught on? They're just like pushing into me. Like when you get like experience the jankiness of collision in characters, And then like it's like there's a default where like the game doesn't know where your position is, and then it just keeps happening. But if like it doesn't happen for a while, then it sort of goes back to normal. I don't know. There's still some things. There's still some. Oh, I forgot about this. There's still some jankiness.
And face have true. The Wildwood's power is mine.
Yeah, that's one thing that bothers me. I don't know what the solution is, but like, there's particular bosses that have like really large collision models, and when they roll, like a I know we're not supposed to move during that, but you can dodge roll at the right time. A little bit of separation from damaging AoE and still not activate the stun mob of the curse. I just didn't manage to time it right there. I'm gonna go here. Okay, just gonna chill here. Roll, and we should be good, yeah. As long as you don't keep moving after the roll, you can reposition to avoid that. Give me the
Return to the void.
level 4 skill damage, please.
So the cop. Thank you.
Take this cold charm, plug it on there. Like that. I'll take Wind Dancer. Activate it. Okay, we'll make a portal. Take the town. The new character that they've made as like an
There is
enemy
enter. Take revenge.
is a little guys on the island of Kin. They're extremely annoying, the ones with the drums. They don't attack you, they just stand there and play their drums, and every time you get close to them, you get knocked back. It just, I'm all for like having a different type of enemy, but the way that it feels, like the jolt that it gives your screen when it happens, it just feels so bad. Like, it shouldn't move your camera, because like look how the screen moves with your character. If your character moves a meter to the left in the time it takes to like get pushed by one of those enemies, then your screen's just going to shake and it's going to be extremely disorientating. There should be like an interp where if your character gets knocked back from one of those animations, there should be like a camera delay so that, you know, it just shouldn't be like that. It feels really bad. It actually feels like the game is glitching out, and it doesn't feel like an effect of one interacting with one of the monsters. It feels extremely unnatural. I mean, there's nothing natural about this game, but the interaction doesn't feel good. Same as when you're fighting Queen of Filth and you dodge roll, and for some reason she's in the air. Her animation is in the air, but in game world, her hitbox is still on the ground. This big fat piece of shit is still on the ground. So if she's jumping over you to slam the ground, and you dodge roll, even if you don't dodge roll directly through the center of mass, you actually dodge roll a little bit towards and behind her on an off angle, you'll still get completely blocked. Not only will you like get blocked, you'll actually get carried with her, usually into the damaging slam. And like sure, you should be more precise with the dodges. You should dodge like perpendicular at least, which I think is probably the most efficient way of dodging monkey slam for sure. If you can dodge perfectly perpendicular, then you will dodge it every single time at the right time. When people do rip to it, they dodge not at the right angle. That's why they end up dying. So it does come down a little bit to positioning too. Like if you're not going to try and bait his slam to be on perfect like right angles to your character orientation, so you can use the correct combination of AS to dodge in that direction or something. But as long as you have like you know, as long as you're dodging, in theory, perpendicular to the slam, you'll be fine. A lot of people, they try it, they run back and then dodge, and well, they're just going to get slammed, or they just do a panic dodge roll without a direction. You get a direction right. But yeah, no, yeah, there's still some jankiness. One of the things I was experiencing yesterday a lot, like every single map that I played, was targeting. It doesn't seem to be happening so much at the moment. I don't know if it's based on the skill, but with snipe and with ice shot, there will be enemies legitimately right in front of you, and you'll have your cursor on them, and for some reason it'll just completely miss. They're not evasive, it's got nothing to do with that, it's just, for whatever reason, the game is, for some reason, just, I don't know, not targeting the hitbox. I think I need to know more to understand what's happening on the, how would I even describe, what's happening on the code level of, like, you know, what's the target acquisition, how is it built into the game. I need to know more about that today, about how to fix it, but the thing that came up with an easy solution is that they could just make the hitboxes bigger. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe that would introduce new problems that weren't problems before. Like, for example, if you don't want to target one enemy, you want to target another one, for example, then that could be annoying, because you could be like directly aiming at, and this actually happens sometimes as well, like you want to snipe the rare enemy that's like slightly to your right, but there's another enemy that's running up to you, and even though you're not aiming at that enemy, because they're closer and it's in line with where your cursor is pointing, then it will target that enemy, even though that's not the one that you want to snipe, because it's not the frozen one.
I shall overcome.
So I don't know how they go about fixing that. And it's made worse by certain areas having elevation. Like, I know it adds an element of realism, but one thing that I thought was completely unnecessary is the amount of elevation on that map. Steppy. Sure, it's called steep, but like, it is a bit of a troll. You know, I'm sure people that have played it know exactly what I'm talking about, but like, it just seems completely unnecessary. I know they want the maps to be different and have their own unique thing, but I think the fact that it was just a massive open space, you can actually get spawn killed if you're not ready for a pile of monsters to start attacking you from all sides as soon as you spawn in. That's enough to be unique. We don't have to have these like arbitrary mounds that are like, that make target acquisition difficult. It's like, there's some situations where, you know, target cursor is better than target ground. And there's also this weird thing where we're playing an isometric game, right? So our perspective is pointing downwards at an angle. It's not directly above. So if a character model's hitbox was just a circle on the floor, that would work if we would like directly bird's eye view, but as we're at an angle, like, it's sort of hard to know like where to aim at some enemies, because their hitbox is not
thunderous shot.
like, even when you highlight over them, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you're going to hit sometimes. Most of the time it's reliable. It seems pretty reliable with lightning arrow, and I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons why lightning arrow is so popular, is because it does seem to play well. It does seem to be, like, aside from the raw numbers and its, you know, its lightning interaction and all that sort of stuff, just in terms of like a gameplay, like how it feels to use, it feels very reliable. Compare that to lightning spear. I know that was popular in Dawn of the Hunt, but
The hawk circles its prey.
if you play lightning spear, for some reason it does feel like you can be standing right next to an enemy, or there can be an enemy right there. You aim at them, but then it just misses. And you know, if you're not in uber endgame where you have a decent amount of attack speed, say you've just gotten to maps and you're focusing on, you know, just maybe having more damage per hit rather than, you know, attack speed. It can feel really annoying to your overall like game flow and clear speed if you throw a spear at something that you think you're aiming at, but it just flies right past them. Look, I don't know what the solution is. Oh, huge. I was thinking that's not a very good result, but we need to find the Candlemas, who's always on the first floor of this area, so we'll go do that. We also can use our level 5 skill gem. We could also get toxic growth. We could switch to poison. We could switch to poison, but the plan was to play lightning until Act 3, and then we'll play ice.
The wilds are my weapon.
Level. Okay, where now? Let's just keep going this way. I'll get a int. Here it is. Yeah. Anyway, big rant. Everybody's got some hot takes about the game.
First ones, hear our lament.
I think they've done a fantastic job. Like, this is such an amazing game. But I think that those little things will make such a difference in just making everything just feel better to play. Like, there's nothing, I don't know, there probably are things worse than having a great game but there being minor in small aspects of it. There's definitely worse things than that, but for the most part, things do feel good. Like the audio, visual, like a lot of things do just feel really good to play.
Is there nothing safe from
I
corruption?
hope that they understand how important it is to weed out the glitchiness and the, you know, small objects on some maps that are just blocking your path when you could literally just kick them over. And I mean, they're not really make or break issues at the end of the day. I need to be level 16 to have even equipped this ring. Same with these boots.
Fury! Die!
I've got to get a drink. I think before I fight Jaina,
Quick
I'm
and
gonna
lethal.
grab a drink. And I need to stop ranting. There's probably not much worse than having a dry throat than just sitting here for hours and hours talking. Like it's bad enough to be sitting down for months, but to be just constantly talking to myself, expressing that inner monologue constantly, that probably can't be good. I actually just realized I am literally talking to myself while playing a game. I'm 99.9% certain that nobody's watching. Probably nobody will even watch this. But it's just the idea that, well, I don't want to be putting a live stream on and just sitting here not saying anything. I could. I think that's going to be the play moving forward. I don't want to lose my voice. I found the wrong way. found this area is actually kind of easier if you just run past everything. Instead of like having to let the damaging AoE on the ground be a blockade to where you want to go, you just run past it. Like, you can't get damaged if you might actually go here. Keep going. What are they gonna do? This mana bug is good annoying right here.
An easy trophy.
Just run past. Yeah, I would not have done that if I was playing hardcore. It turns out we went the wrong way too.
Fury.
But one of the benefits of running fast is that you don't get slowed down by that blood bullshit.
Nowhere to run.
Go through, no damaging areas. Go through. Oh look, we're at the end.
Are they feeding it?
Yeah, I guess we're fighting Geonor with 17 cold res. This is probably not going to go good. No, maybe anyone has cold res. It does. Yeah, I guess we're going to use that for the fight.
This
No, 26.
interloper has
Let's
the
go.
power we need. Kill her, and you shall have everything I promised.
No noose
Maybe
this
these
time.
boots are the cold res. They do.
I'll remove your head
they don't have
myself.
movement speed.
Many have tried.
Easy rain. No escape. First one's high.
I'll take a hit, but as long as you don't get hit twice, then you're pretty okay. And that's... Oh, I have back up to it.
Oriana! Open the cage! Release the beast! Give me what you promised!
I think not. I expected so much more from you. Since you are too weak to do the job, I'll find someone who
I
can.
don't think it's
Goodbye,
reduced damage.
husband.
You manipulative whore! How dare you abandon me after all I've given you! Desolation. I smell your blood. And I am ravenous. Freezing gale. Solstice of pain. As night falls,
Probably have a couple phases of this.
winter's chill, sought the unworthy, through an endless night,
We can get 3 hits in.
they wither and tarry. Forsaken thrusts, as cold
Yeah, it's about 3
death
hits.
of Bayer's misery.
Attack speed somewhere.
The pack won't forget.
Support them.
Requiem on high. I will take out your
Storm
heart
point.
and savor its bite. Freezing gale. I smell your blood.
I can't remember the last time I died to Geonor. I think it's only in the front one. I think they're getting new.
Death.
want to do another one of those phases. Not worried, just a little. We only just got him at the end.
Allow me to clear your mind, if only for a moment.
Pretty decent.
The madness
Really. I think this is the max roll.
consumed my being.
It's the highest tier of physical damage I think we can get,
against me.
but it's not max
Where
roll.
has she
It's
taken
sort
the
of above
beast?
energy.
I
Can't say.
found messages from the desert.
So there's a trick here
From
where
Vastiri.
if you're speedrunning
Yes.
like 100%
Find
speedrun,
her.
instead of
Kill
doing
her.
Candlemass first, you would
But
kill
first-
Geonort.
Please,
And while this is happening,
stop the
you would
madness.
run back upstairs to the checkpoint
As you
and
wish.
kill Candlemass. And that way, instead of having to wait here this entire time,
Stay
We must
light,
make haste.
stay alive.
Let us return to Clearfell to make our preparations.
while all of this dialogue is happening, which you can't skip. There's no way to skip this, and I'm sure they've tried. So they figured they could just do something else while that's happening.
You've done the good luck.
But I would
I
rather
like to
just get
hold
the.
on to bits and pieces.
I would rather just get the 20
Any
life.
that catch your eye.
I might just
Be
keep
careful.
this in my leveling thing. It would be cool to level a monk with this one. Melee skills and a few other nice stats for early game character. So I'll have rings on this side and amulets on this side. Probably I'll keep this and switch it with that one, but we won't switch it now. We need to level 16, which is shortly. Good chance, lightning chaos. That actually sounds pretty good.
I will treasure it. B.
Go. We can.
What you got, Renly? I probably won't buy a bow. If I had leveled up and I was level 16. Movement, speed, cold, and dex. That is
A
an
fine
upgrade.
choice.
Yeah, and we can actually
Oh,
afford
well.
stuff. Oh,
We must
I think we had
betrayal.
3k.
The Countess has escaped with the beast.
Made a character with some friends. Alright. Well, I think it's time for a short break. I'm going to mute and I'll be back.
Well, my lady, we have arrived. The Vastiri awaits. Good luck to you.